Good evening, morning, and afternoon, Supercast Brothers fans. This is, in fact, Supercast Brothers, and I am Jonathan, otherwise known as Jonno. And I'm unpredictable. I never know where I'm going until I get there. I'm so random, I'm always growing, learning, changing. I'm never the same person twice. But one thing you can be sure of about me is I will always do exactly what I want to do.
Well, I'm Are you okay, dude?
Always. It just proves that I'm unusual.
Let's go with that. Anyways, I'm Lister, otherwise known as Zantok, and we're still doing these.
He's a good man.
Apparently,
He's a good man.
I don't know how
Hello,
we still
hello,
are doing
old
these.
talk. We are here. It's been a solid 6 months or so. It's fun. Welcome to Supercast Brothers, my friend. Once more for
Oh
episode
yay!
13 and on topic
What are we on topic
where
about?
fighters pass 2.
Oh, you mean the sequel to the thing that just ended with Byleth?
Yeah, he was a universally lauded inclusion, I'm sure, especially when Byleth recruited Byleth. That was a stroke of genius.
I,
Who
I
could have
I
ever
will
seen it coming?
say I will say that part of the trailer did make me go, what the fuck? Like, never once in any trailers for Smash Bros. Characters have we had an alternate costume get a tagline and a splash screen. And we did have Mii's get some. I believe Gino got
Hmm.
one in Smash 4, and then, like we talked about before, Elijah Wood, Ice T, and Abraham Lincoln all got splash screens when the Mii fighters were first shown off for Smash 4. And then, like,
Oh yeah.
Japanese version got different celebrities that were revealed. But this is the first time it's been for an alternate costume. It's like, what
Hmm.
the hell? Okay, whatever, Sakurai.
Yep. Yeah, he certainly let his Fire Emblem bias really show, and I say that as someone who loves Fire Emblem. It's obvious that that whole spin with Corrin was like, oh, it was so hard to decide to finally choose Corrin. It's like, no, it wasn't. He's like, yeah, let's fucking choose Corrin. You know,
I think
it's
this
like
time it was
okay,
more like, all right, I don't care anymore if people don't like that I'm putting in Fire Emblem characters. Three Houses is great. Screw you guys.
yeah,
Still could have
no,
gotten one of the Lords, which for anybody that's been paying attention to the Fire Emblem Heroes Choose Your Legends vote, those fans definitely would not have picked Byleth, as you can tell by the voting, where the three Lords all pretty much dominated the vote. Shocker
hmm.
there.
I mean, Erica's dominating Byleth, to my recollection. So there's that too.
Sure.
Sure thing.
Sure. Anyways, there was another announcement that was made when Sakurai revealed Byleth as the last member of the Fighter Pass for Smash Ultimate.
Yes, the rabbits are a meat costume, and we all thought they would be playable.
The rabbits are a Mii costume. And apparently somebody thought they would be playable. Whoever that person is, I fear for your mental health.
Eric.
I believe it.
Yeah, so what was it?
So we had already known that when Sakurai had revealed Terry Bogard for Smash, that we were going to be getting more DLC characters after the first Fire Pass. We didn't know if they were going to be just like individual releases, much like how it was done with Smash 4, or if it was going to be like just one more bonus character like Piranha Plant, or if it would be a whole other Fighter Pass. And what we're getting is not just a Fighter Pass, it's a bigger Fighter Pass. Instead of 5 characters, it's 6. Who they're going to be,
Oh, yeah.
nobody really knows yet. All we know is that it's going to be much like the first Fighter Pass. You're getting a character, you're getting a stage, you're getting music, you're getting Mii costumes, and you're getting some spirits. I'm assuming on the
Yes,
spirits.
sir.
That technically wasn't confirmed, but it seems it was like a pretty safe bet.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, because every character released so far has had a spirit board,
Exactly. We've even had
except for
some.
Piranha Plant.
Well, Piranha Plant was more of a bonus thing. So,
Yeah.
so I would not be surprised if Piranha Plant was meant to be base game, but it had to be pushed. There's really no say either way on that. I think most people are thinking that he wasn't, but
Hmm.
it's possible, and I would believe it if it was true.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, one thing we had talked about after we had learned that Byleth was ending the first fighter pass, and we were getting a whole other one, is we were kind of thinking, who are we going to get? Who are we going to get in Fighter Pass 2? Like we've mentioned how we've speculated about Smash Brothers rosters pretty much to death in the past, building rosters completely from the beginning, imagining, oh, what if Smash started on the NES, and then and then they had a sequel on the SNES, and going all the way down that track. We've done this shit, so we wanted to think about
Mm-hmm.
who do we think could be in Fighter Pass 2.
Azurda.
I somehow doubt that unless Rex gets in and Azurda it's a spirit battle. In which case, sure, maybe,
Maybe.
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 I would actually honestly guess Azurda as a spirit battle if Rex were to get in. I feel like that makes
Oh,
sense.
yeah. Yeah.
It's just a very easy choice to make.
Well, Azurda's an easy choice for a lot of things. Azurda for president. Azurda for, I don't know, like a stepmom or something.
Azurda is a choice for a lot of things, like a president, and I don't know. Great, that's a lot of things. Good job. One.
Hey, I said two.
Mmm. Did you though? Did you though?
Cooking with Azurda, a cooking simulator
That
in the
sounds like a new
sky.
reality show.
Yep. Anyway,
Anywho, so we spent some time. We thought about who we thought could be included. We came up with like what their stage would be, some music, some me costumes, spirits, maybe some spirit battles and how they would work. We'll see. But beyond that's just that. We also wanted to reach out to a few friends of ours, some of whom have been making some guest appearances here on the podcast, and we wanted to ask them what 6 characters they thought could be on the Fighter Pass. And I kind of thought we would reveal who our friends thought first before we dive deep into our actual predictions. What do you think?
yeah, that sounds good to me. It'll be a good opportunity to highlight them right off the top before jumping into the meat and potatoes that we're going to spend, I God knows how long on. So it's
Too
it's a
true.
good precursor too, since our choices are better than theirs.
I mean, you said
Maybe.
it, and I'm not disputing it. So let's find out what our friends thought. You want to give the first one a
All
go?
right. Yeah, sure. So our buddy Kelly, the Kelly to my jelly that we have spoke that we spoke with on the last episode, I almost threw my own self off. Um, he has a list of 6 for us, and those 6 are in the order that he wrote the list down. Travis Touchdown from No More Heroes, 2B from Near Automata, Phoenix Wright from
Ace
Attorney
Attorney
Simulator, Laura Croft from Raiding the Tomb,
Simulator.
Crash Bandicoot from The Bandicoot That Crashes, and Master Chief from Assassin's Creed.
I think you might have gotten the game wrong for that last one, but good
Oh, it's
try.
from Halo. It's from Halo
Yes, there you go.
or Hollow. Hol-
It's
Hollow
Mr.
Hollow.
Chef from Hallow. Good
Yeah.
job. Good job
Thank
there.
you.
Note to self: get Jonno reading glasses, cause holy shit. Anyways, we also had Jake, who had previously appeared on our episode, going over the "Everyone Is Here" trailer from E3 a couple years back. Wow, a couple years
Hmm.
back. Holy shit, that makes me feel old. Oh God.
Well,
Anyways,
I've got something to tell you about being old.
I know I am old. I don't have to be told this. Anyways, the characters on Jake's list were Gino from Super Mario RPG, personal favorite of mine.
Hmm.
Uh, we
Oh
had
yeah.
we had Phoenix Wright again from the Ace Attorney franchise. Isaac from Nintendo's Golden Sun. No Binding of Isaac fans in
That's a
Dead
shock.
Space or Dark Space Dark. I don't whatever that franchise is called. Not that Isaac either. Another mention of Crash Bandicoot. Rex from Xenoblade
Hmm.
Chronicles 2, who almost made it in the base roster. It's just a little too
Hmm.
late. It's very sad. And,
Azurda. There you go.
well, maybe. And Lloyd Irving from Tales of Fantasia. Wait, Fantasia or is it Symphonia? Shit.
Symphonia.
Symphonia. That makes more sense. God damn it. I keep getting that mixed up lately, and I don't know why.
Neither do I.
God,
Fantasia, are you projecting your Mickey Mouse in this?
no.
Okay.
I think you might
Well,
be.
I may be, but that could be a discussion for off podcast. He, not here nor there, rather. We have Jamie Alamorad's list, the singer songwriter who featured on a Smasher Dash recently, where we were tackling Toad and Captain Toad and Shadow and Zero. Jamie's choices. Going a little for the conventional here to start, Rillaboom. And we were discussing this. I was like, what kind of Pokemon are you thinking? Because he just said a Pokemon, and he was like, oh, one of the starters. And it's like, Rillaboom. He's like, yeah, okay.
Nice.
and, then, and then there's Hayabusa, Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden. Dante for the popular epic poem Dante's Inferno. Gino, uh, the guy Gino Vanelli, who was a popular Canadian singer-songwriter who produced Jamie's album. Shadow, the hedgehog, who lost our Smasher Dash and Jamie just eviscerated.
He really did. I find it interesting he's predicting Shadow despite that.
I know. Maybe we turned him. I have no clue. And number one, most likely, in my books, Cranky Kong.
Interesting choice. Now, I do have a one question of clarification for you. You said Dante from Dante's Inferno. Is that who
Mm-hmm.
he actually meant, or is he meaning Dante from Devil May Cry?
Yeah, he wants Smash to feature Dante from the Devil May Cry series.
Okay, okay. Just thought I'd clear that up just a little bit. Since
Yeah,
Dante's Inferno is another actual game, and I mean, I'm sure there's somebody out there that wants that Dante too.
probably.
Uh,
Okay, who's next?
so next up, we have a good personal friend of mine who I'm hoping would be on the podcast someday, Babylonian,
Mm-hmm.
who has decided to guess that we're going to get Yuri Lowell from Tales of Vesperia, a
Interesting.
different Tales game from Lloyd. We got a Sword and Shield Pokemon, and when I asked them which one, they were just like a non-humor. It's like, all right, there's not many good choices from Sword and Shield for that, but here's hoping. I told them like my personally, I think the best bet there is Zacian, even though we just got a Spirit for Zacian, so who knows?
Yep. What
Number
about
two,
a Metacam that is just crawling?
a what?
Yeah, a Metacam that is just crawling.
A Metacham? You mean
It's my accent, forgive me.
your accent of stupid?
It's Canadian.
Ah, that makes sense. But no, I don't think a crawling Metacham would quite fit the bill, especially considering they're not a Sword and Shield Pokemon.
Oh, yeah. Well, what about that Pokedex? Isn't it whole?
We don't talk about the Sword and Shield Pokedex. That's a topic for a different podcast about Pokemon.
Okay.
Anyways, continuing on with Babylonian's list, we also have the Dragonborn from Skyrim, Tifa Lockhart, who would be our second rep from Final Fantasy VII,
Okay.
Shantae from, well, Shantae, and
Nice.
Yu Narukami, the player character from Persona
Huh.
4.
Interesting choices. I don't think that necessarily Tifa or you would be likely, considering that we already have Persona and Final Fantasy VII specifically represented pretty well in Smash, but who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. And you was a very popular choice before Joker came around.
Oh, yeah. Uh, P4 and P5 are the most popular Persona games, and the fans, they'll definitely argue over which one is better, and I'm going to stay out of that conversation. I have my own personal thoughts, but not today.
That's for the
Not
Persona
today.
podcast.
Yes, that's for the Persona podcast, which maybe if you had ever played the games, we could do.
Oh yeah, well I'm good. I plan on playing through all of Scramble. That works, right?
Well, considering that the sequel to P5, no.
No, I already beat P5.
No, you didn't. You're waiting for the Royal.
Maybe.
I'm also waiting for the Royal. It's good. It looks good. I played P5
Yeah,
as
it
well,
does.
but I want P5R too. Oh, please.
So do I. Oh yeah.
Anyways, what's our next list, Scott?
Our next list is from another friend of ours, a longtime friend of ours that we mentioned probably numerous times inadvertently over this podcast because he's just a part of our
History.
lives and our history. to such an extent that he's just a great in joke even when he's not around. And that is our good old pal, Baby Eric, also known as Flame Zone. Member of Mercurius, just like Jake and Trevor and you and I.
Does he know you
Uh,
call him Baby Eric?
he knows that there's a Baby Eric me sword fighter that I use, so yep.
Okay. Eric, I'm sorry.
um, for once, um, there's a his list is Gino from Super Mario RPG,
Woo!
again a shared favorite of ours. Two, Cinderace of all Pokemon, another fire starter. Uh, it would be an interesting sportsman at least. Three is Lloyd Irving from Tales of Symphonia. Four is Tracer from Overwatch, which would
Interesting.
be a great pick in my opinion.
I mean, I have made a
Uh,
moveset for her before.
yeah, go to the Smashtopia wiki for that. Five is Crash again. So Crash is pretty popular. And number six is Chrono from Chrono Trigger. Certainly not impossible. There's just a lot that from Square that Chrono would be up against.
Oh, yeah. He'd be up
Like
against
Laura, like
Gino,
Sora.
Lara Croft, Sora, Square Enix themselves. Even Agent
Yeah.
47 from Hitman.
They're going to want to put Frog in the game instead of Chrono.
I mean, for a second there, I thought you were going to say Frogger, and I was about to smack you and say wrong company.
Nah, Frogger will be an AT if any. Okay,
I would be okay with that.
me too. Me too.
So,
One
the
last one.
yes, the final guest list that we were able to get comes from another personal friend of mine who, again, I would love to have on someday. Rafiki. Yes. Named
From The Lion
after
King.
the monkey or baboon or whatever he
Baboon.
is
Yep.
from The Lion King. It is his number one favorite movie of all time. If you dare say there's a better Disney movie, he will hunt you down.
What
And I'll
if
be
it
there with the
was
camera and laughing because that's gonna be hilarious.
the CGI Lion King? Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I haven't talked to him about that one. I don't know that I
Okay.
want to. I haven't heard many good things.
It was okay. But I mean, as with any CGI one, it's just pales in comparison.
Yeah, it's also not live action.
Yep. If
Anyways,
it were live action, that would be pretty impressive.
yeah, it would be. It would be. Just wait till we get live action Zootopia.
Oh man, I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
And neither can a lot of other people from another subsection of the internet.
Moving on. Rafiki's list contains Sora from Kingdom Hearts, Master Chief from Halo,
Nice.
Waluigi.
Ha!
I love it. I
Yes.
don't think it's likely, but I love that it's on there.
Yep.
Dante, not from Devil's or not. Damn it! I was about to say Devil's Inferno, trying to make a joke about Dante's Inferno, and I failed.
Not
It's
from Devil World.
featuring Dante from Devil May Cry. God damn it. Continues on to include Crash Bandicoot, and then for their final slot, they were torn between two Pokemon, but the two names they gave me were Rillaboom and Toxtricity.
Oh, that would be great.
Indeed. I really love that looking at all these lists, there's a lot of different names on here. There's a few that appear on multiple lists, like Crash, Geno, Master Chief. But there's a lot of just names that were only mentioned once, and I really love the nice variety that we got here.
Oh, I agree. Um, there's not a super out there pick out of the bunch, unless maybe you're talking about Cranky Kong.
I mean, I would say there's a few
It's
that
still
are a
likely.
little bit out there. There's several names that I would definitely say that I
Oh
personally
yeah,
think
like
have
yeah,
zero chance. Like Isaac, unfortunately, I don't think he has a chance to DLC. I just do not see it happening.
Isaac
But
or Tifa or something. But yeah,
yeah, but I do think that these are all, for the most part, pretty strong picks.
I'm
Just
just
like you,
fixating on Cranky Jamie because I love Cranky. He's my friend. Thank you for including him.
honestly, after we get Dixie, I would love to have Cranky Kong in the game. I really would.
Oh, me too. Me
Yeah.
too.
But like you see on the internet a lot of people talking about who they think they'll be in the past, and a lot of times it's like the same 4 or 5 names and like 1 or 2 outliers. But we got a really nice mix here.
Yeah, it's like our small group of friends has more of a collective opinion than the overall Smash Brothers community.
That's
Oh,
that.
we're canceled.
What?
What?
What do you? I don't even know what he just said, and I'm not sure that I want to know because I feel like he had a brain fart.
In what sense? I was
For the
totally
second
lucid.
time tonight, I must ask you: are you okay?
I am alive. I'm just surprised that Arlie wasn't included in any of them.
Arla Nadja from Puyo Puyo?
Oh yeah, of course.
Honestly,
Quite the hot topic.
the only person that we talked to that I think might have had them on their list would have been Jake.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, no, there was somebody else who we tried to get that they might have had
Hmm.
them, but unfortunately they weren't able to send in a list, and that's fine. It's
Yeah.
understandable. But
I had a
Arlie, I mean, I consider her for my list, but spoiler alert, she didn't make it. I
yeah,
just
mine either.
first of all, it's hard to really think about a character that you just don't know anything about other than the fact that they
Hmm.
exist and they have a puzzle game. That's it. That's all I know about Arlie.
Yeah, yeah. And man, that really made me feel like I had no clue what was going on for a second. I'm like, wow, what did I say? Interesting.
You said something about being canceled.
Oh yeah. Well, that's I was memeing on us, so let's move on.
See. Here's the thing with him. He memes so hard that he even threw himself off. This is why he needs professional help.
Yeah, maybe we'll get sponsored by a therapist.
Or Tylenol.
Or okay.
Anyways, we've covered here all of our six people that we were able to talk to and all their prediction lists. But we haven't yet gotten to ours.
No, we haven't.
Who do you think we should start out here?
I am gonna roll this golf ball that I have in my hand. Oh,
Why?
it landed on that side. And that means that I think that you should go first. And we'll alternate afterwards.
Okay, I suppose we will. So,
Okay.
with that said, I'm going to start off with you know what, let's start off with a big name character here. Not all the ones on my list are necessarily big, although mainly I might say four of them are and the other two aren't. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Opinions will vary. But I'm actually going to start with the character that was mentioned two times by some of our other compatriots here. And that would be
Rillaboom.
no.
Oh,
Master Chief of
nice.
Halo.
Very nice.
Now, this slot came to me. I was thinking about like FPS characters, which has been a big topic pretty much ever since Ultimate DLC has been thought about. People discuss like, oh, we could get an FPS character like Master Chief or Doom Guy. I'm like, yeah, those are probably the best two options that you could pick for that. And I was trying to figure out
Hmm.
which one of them I wanted to include because I knew I wanted one of them, but I opted to go with Master Chief for a couple reasons. One, I've seen people express the belief that it's kind of hard to do Doom Guy if you don't have him literally ripping and tearing through opponents with blood and gore and stuff, which, fair enough. But then I've also thought
Hmm.
about, okay, so what would Doom Guy's stage even be? Hell? Oh no, we can't have a stage named Hell. That's not. Nope, that's
Yeah,
not
even though it's a
happening.
town in Michigan.
That's
Oh
true.
man.
But I was like, you know, we'll pick Master Chief instead. You know, he's going to be more the modern face for
Hmm.
FPS games, and we already know that Nintendo and Microsoft have a good relationship since we're getting a Cuphead me costume, or have gotten one rather, I should say, and we also
Hmm.
got Banjo Kazooie, thanks to Microsoft being generous with him as well. So you know what? Let's have Microsoft have a second rep. Let's get Master Chief in here.
Yes, please.
He'd be very fun. I've actually
Yeah.
previously made a moveset for him, which you can find on Smashtopia as well. And actually, I believe I've already made his stage, which you can check out, and that is Blood Gulch. You might be
Hmm.
thinking, what the fuck? Blood Gulch? That's a random multiplayer map from Halo 1. Why not pick an actual important location? Like, you know, the in game area where you have, like, the Halo ring. And you know what? That might be a good idea. But I'll admit, I got some red versus blue bias in me going on. And I think
Mm-hmm.
most people that played Halo 1, the map, the multiplayer map for them, that's like the one that they remember the most, the one that's the most iconic, it is Blood Gulch. That's to me,
Yeah.
when I think of Halo multiplayer, I think Blood Gulch before anything else. Then the
Mm-hmm.
basic idea I had for it is just basically, instead of, some stages that are like really tall or just like massive squares, like New Pork City,
Mm-hmm.
I picture this one as being like relatively normal height wise, but it's super long in its length. So you could have and the map would like zoom out if one person's on the far left, one person's on the far right, and they just have to run at each other,
Mm-hmm.
which could create issues of people just running away from each other. But it's one map. I mean,
Yeah.
the tournaments, they ban all but like 6 stages anyways, so who cares? We
They'll
can have
just
a
use the
fun
Omega
one.
form.
Yeah, they'll just use the Omega form anyways, or the Battlefield form,
Battlefield.
one
Yeah.
of the two. But I
Yep.
also decided to come up with music tracks for each of the stages I'm going to be mentioning. But I want to limit myself to only mentioning five per stage, because otherwise this could go forever, and
Music, it's your greatest passion.
it's definitely not. But the five tracks I decided to go with were the main theme from Halo, Brothers in Arms, Rock Anthem for Saving the World, which is just an amazing title itself. Dear God. I've also got on there
Yeah.
Covenant Dance and Truth and Reconciliation Suite, which is a bit of an
Nice.
odder title, but I think it works.
Well, it's sweet.
Wrong suite, but okay.
The sweet life of Master Chief.
Okay. I'll give you that one.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. So each fighter pass so far has come with a pack of me costumes. The hero came with only four, Joker came with six, and then all the rest of them have come with five. So for all of my characters, I decided to pack them up with five me costumes. And for Master Chief, I decided to bring along with him an outfit of the Arbiter from Halo 2,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Geralt from The Witcher,
Aha.
Fulgore from Killer Instinct,
Nice.
Rash from Battletoads,
Uh-huh. Yep, I like that.
and then a sand style me outfit, or as I've seen some people calling them deluxe me's, of Steve from Minecraft. So it'll pretty much look just like Steve, and it'll come with a bonus music track of a remix of one of the ambient themes from Minecraft.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice. I know a lot of people that would be salty,
they would
but it's
be. I mean, I was considering Steve for my list as well, but I figured, you know what? This is a nice consolation prize. Technically, Minecraft, while it is now owned by Microsoft, it is still kind of an indie game, or at least it originated that way. And so far, both of our me costumes that have had a deluxe form have been from indie games. So I
that's
figured, you
true.
know what? Let's give Steve that special treatment as well.
Yeah, and if Steve would be like, and being good people would be like, another sword fighter? Just kidding.
Oh, actually, that's you know what? I forgot to mention what type of me fighter all these would be. Good catch on that.
Ooh, well, that's okay, because so did I.
So I've got Arbiter, Geralt, and Steve all being me sword fighters. Technically, you could make Steve be a brawler, but
Mhm.
Gunner just would not work. I mean, I guess you could make him have a bow, but no. And then
Yeah.
both Fulgore and Rash are brawlers. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
they fight with their fists. It kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, Folgar could go either way. He could be a me athlete, but.
Which doesn't exist yet, but okay.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Then for the spirit battles, every fighter so far has come with between 9 and 11 spirit battles that you can play on the spirit board. So I decided to come up with that same number. All of mine except for one are only going to have nine because, well, some of them were a little bit harder to think of, and I didn't want to go too crazy with things. Except for the one franchise where I was trying to limit myself down, and I had like over 25. It's like, oh god, let's cut this out because this is bad.
Mm-hmm.
So for the Halo Spirit battles, what I've come up with is first of all we have Cortana, who's going to be represented by Zero Suit Samus on Lilac Cruz. And as
Nice.
you're fighting, Zero Suit Samus will heal occasionally because, well, Cortana is a computer program, and self healing kind of made sense to me there.
Oh, yeah.
Our second one is going to be a spirit of the Arbiter, where you're fighting against a me sword fighter in the Arbiter's outfit. You're going to be on the Blood
Nice.
Gold stage, and the me sword fighter's sword attacks will deal extra damage.
As
Pretty
they
simple
should.
there. Then I also have the Grunt, which is a really basic Covenant enemy in Halo. It's going to be represented by Yoshi again on Blood Gulch. But you have
Hmm.
to defeat 4 mini-sized Yoshis in only 1 minute, and they all have ray guns.
Ooh.
They're going to be easy to kill, but you got that time crunch, which I like.
Dum, dum, da, 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 da. Mm, 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 mm.
Okay.
Oh, you could hear me?
Yes, you did not mute your
What?
mic. And even if you did, I would have heard it, and it would have been on the podcast. So, next up,
Nice.
we've got
I'm
the
glad.
Brute, which is another Covenant enemy. They're going to be represented by King Dedede, since Brutes like using those gravity hammers. The
Hmm.
stage is going to be Gerudo Valley, and King Dedede will not only start out giant, but he'll start out with a hammer. So you better fucking run, or you're dead. Much like the gravity hammers will just fucking ruin your day.
Hmm.
The last Covenant enemy spirit I have is the Elite, which tend to use swords. So I'm having that be represented by Cloud on the Shadow Moses Island stage, and essentially Cloud just starts out with the Killing Edge. Nothing real else there. Pretty simple.
Ah.
The next one I have up here is the Carrier Flood, which is another type of enemy in Halo besides just the Covenant, but it's going to be represented by Olimar on Distant Planet. And for this battle, Olimar is giant when you fight him. But when you KO Olimar, 4 mini Olimars will spawn in because the Flood,
Oh,
once you
nice.
kill one, it bursts and there's these little babies that pop out that try and kill you. It's terrifying. I
It's a
don't
lot
like
like a
it.
statement on human pregnancy.
You're not too wrong there. So the next two I have are both of different vehicles from Halo. The first one is the Scorpion tank, which is one of the human machines.
Hmm.
It's going to be represented by Bowser on Bridge of Eldin. So for this one, Bowser
Ooh.
is metal, and he'll start off holding a bob-omb, which he's just ready to throw right in your face. Additionally, bob-ombs spawn extra often on the stage, so it's going to
Ooh.
get explodey.
I like
Yes,
explosions.
I bet you do.
Hmm.
Then I have the Phantom, which is a Covenant flying vehicle that can turn invisible, which will become important. It's
Oh.
going to be represented by Ridley on Palutena's Temple, and every now and then Ridley will turn invisible.
Oh, man.
Seems fitting.
Yep.
The final spirit that I have to represent the Halo franchise, and this is one that I would classify as the legendary spirit, so it might actually need to be buffed up a little bit because it might be a little on the weaker side to be legendary, but roll
Hmm.
with it here. Guilty Spark 343. He's this little floating spherical robot that you meet towards the end of the game. And he's all friendly and such. Then he decides, oh, I'm going to fucking murder you. Oh, yeah, spoiler alert. We're going to be spoiling stuff about all the games that we're talking about here today. Oops.
Oh, yeah.
If you
Oops, we
didn't
did it
see that
again.
coming, my bad. So for this battle, Guilty Spark 343 is going to be represented by Jigglypuff on Friggin' Orpheon.
Oh, I
And for
like it
this
already.
battle, Jigglypuff is going to be mini and metal.
Nice.
And then after 1 minute has passed, assuming Jigglypuff hasn't been KO'd yet, Jigglypuff will automatically be given a fully assembled Daybreak. Yeah, it's a little terrifying.
Nice. Oh, man. You had me at mini metal Jigglypuff, and now you give me. I am
The,
excited.
yeah, it's not a battle that I would be looking forward to playing.
Nope. Still better than Pauline, though.
Well, yes, nobody likes fighting Polly in a world of light.
No.
Nobody.
No, God, no.
Anyways, that's my first character, Master Chief. Do you have any questions on him?
Uh, no, actually. Other than we covered why you chose him over Doom Guy, and I think that's sound because some people uh have expressed that, especially in the later Doom games, the reboots, ripping and tearing is literally the name of one of the songs in this soundtrack, and it is a major facet of the game. I think a lot of the Doom Guy support just comes from people knowing that Bethesda's been close with Nintendo from the onset, And so they're like, oh, will it be Doom Guy or Dragonborn? And because of that thirst for an FPS character, they're like, oh, it's Doom Guy. But now that we're in a new fighter pass, I would say they're on pretty good footing, both Doom Guy and Master Chief. So Master Chief, despite having less of a legacy per se, because there's less history there with the franchise than Doom, it's just easier to put in Smash, and Halo has become a bigger franchise. So I definitely understand that, and I would be extremely hyped by the pick.
Yeah, I mean, even on the note of legacy, yeah, Doom was pretty much the franchise that, along with Wolfenstein, brought about FPSs in general to the gaming universe way
Mm-hmm.
back in the old retro days of like the NES and such. But Halo's been around since 2000. It's
Yeah.
20 years, well, it's 19, 20 years old. It's got its
Mm-hmm.
own legacy at this point. It's
Man,
not
speaking of
like
being
it's
old,
not like it's only 5 years old. In which case, I'll say, yeah,
mm-hmm.
Doom has a beat on every corner, but Halo's got history.
Yeah, it's enough to compete,
Yeah,
certainly. With that said, um, gosh, are we ready to move on to number two?
I'm
Or
ready.
rather, my.
I'm ready to see what your first one's gonna be.
All right, well, okay. Let's just jump right on into it then. Because with all of that said, the first fighter that I'll be presenting to you on my pass is not Doom Guy, but Doom Slayer.
Oh, going for the new name. Okay.
Yeah, going for the new, and that's only because, like we see with Hero now, Luminary being Hero instead of Erdrick, Doomslayer as the main instead of Doom Guy. But I do have an idea where Doom Guy can be an alt, maybe the Doom Marine can be an alt, because Doom has gone through multiple iterations of this same character with different armor designs,
That's true.
and they all have different names. So you can have Doomslayer, and you can have the Doom Guy design, the Doom Marine design, and they can all be called Doomslayer per se. Or as you switch between the alts, they can go, oh, Doomslayer, Doom Guy. Either which way, they would be all represented. So there we go. And so I don't know. I'm coming from the idea of, yeah, Bethesda probably has talked with Nintendo. They've actually gone on the record to say that they have about, potentially having a rep in Smash, and I think that there's pretty much two top choices.
Mm-hmm.
So I just went with an alternate route here for mine, because in regards to that other top choice, I have another character that might fill the same void. So for Bethesda and including them, I decided to go for Doomslayer. And with that said, as far as fighting techniques go, there's a lot of different weapons in the game, and I think that we're like the chain gun, chainsaw, the BFG, which would be kind of funny to include just because of what that abbreviation stands for. Uh,
I mean, it's got to be there
that
though.
sort of thing. It has to be there. That's right. Um, and there's a lot of ways to get past ripping and tearing. So, and even then, you can still include pretty visceral grabs and standard attacks. I'm sure, just without it getting out of hand, you can have an animation of Doom Guy even ripping like as an attack without it tearing the opponent. So long as you're not literally tearing something in half when he's ripping something, I think we can get through it.
Or spewing gallons of blood.
Yeah, exactly. There's very few demons from hell on the roster, so I think we're safe. Um, so that's as far as I got with thinking about the moveset, though. It's pretty diversified, though, as it would be for pretty much any FPS character of this ilk. And because Doom is so in your face, it would be kind of funny to have these weapons included, I think, too. And it fits the comic vibe. As for the stage, yeah, we're just going to go to hell. No, just kidding. So the story of Doom, to my knowledge, as someone who's never played Doom and just has watched gameplay, um, there is a government organization. The world is on the fritz, and the only way to restore energy is to harvest it. This is so rudimentary from hell. So What? Oh, yeah, let's open a portal to hell because that is advised, and let's do it on Mars because humans have settled on Mars at this point too. So there's a big gate called Doom's Gate on Mars. And so I think that a way to work around hell and not necessarily just have hell and smash is to have the stage be Doom's Gate instead. Have it
Ah,
have it be the entrance to hell. You can have that portal, and there could be demons crawling out of it that are iconic to the series, and not necessarily too much for Smash. And who knows? Maybe they can be stage hazards or something. But my idea is to just have it be positioned in front of this uh, Doom's Gate on Mars, and so you have a little bit of a gravity thing going on. There's it could be a relatively sizey stage set in front of the gate with a few platforms. Like I'm thinking maybe two relatively well-sized, longer platforms on a kind of a metally futuristic stage with Hellspawn in the background. So there's one way to work around that. Other than that, I think the only other option would be Hell, which is probably going to get a big hell no from Sakurai.
yeah, and from Nintendo in general.
Yeah, and from Nintendo in general.
Well, from the
Sakurai, if he
ratings
could.
board too.
Oh, yeah, Sero is insane. Sakurai would probably be all over it, actually, if he could. He'd be like, yep, let's put hell on this. Um, let's see. Music tracks. So this is fun, just going through, especially the newer Doom soundtracks, and just being hit by heavy metal and screaming. It's like, oh, this is very fitting. You're ripping and tearing demons apart. What better soundtrack is there than just
That's the name of the
now
track.
that's yeah, that is the name of the track. Yeah,
Just a
there is
scream.
there is one track that's illegible like that. Yeah, but
Okay.
well, there's level. Let's see. Classic Doom music is pretty nondescript in how it's named, like level one, episode one. And since that's the first track ever, sure, let's include it. But then otherwise, we have these crazy tracks all in all capital letters, like Dogma, Demigod, BFG Division, Dogma, and Doom. And yeah, those are my music tracks.
Okay. Alrighty
Yeah,
then.
so, and you can extend it. Bethesda can be very generous. I have a feeling they would be. So it's like include the whole damn soundtrack if you wanted to, kind of like SNK did.
Yeah.
um,
SNK's music isn't even just King of Fighters or Fatal Fury. It's just like, hey, you want you want music from our entire library of games? Because you can have it. It's like, holy
mm-hmm,
shit.
mm-hmm. And like, yes. um, for me costumes, I have 4 available, mostly just because I couldn't think of anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the Kako Demon, which is no surprise
Oh yeah.
up to people who are part of the leak scene and trying to decipher whether or not that's even real right now. I would imagine that would be either a brawler or a gunner.
Well, that if it's a
Dragonborn.
hat, it doesn't really have a. It's for
Oh,
all of
true.
them.
Yep. Dragonborn as a sword fighter,
Makes sense.
and then Vault Boy and Vault Girl as me gunners.
Okay.
Yeah,
Unexpected Vault
some
Girl. All right.
some Fallout representation and and keeping it all inclusive with the inclusion of the ever elusive Vault Girl. Uh, so yeah, I believe there's also spirits to take in mind. And let me tell you, dear viewers, a fine story about my creating my lists, or just this whole process in general.
Oh.
We approach this pretty nondescriptly compared to our episode about, say, Rex and Pyro, where there's not too much forethought that's being communicated between one another. So when we're like, yeah, let's think of spirits, I was like, okay, spirits. Yeah, that's right. And then, so I have a list of spirits, but I did not think of any spirit battles. I'm just like, yeah, here's some spirits. here's some characters that can be spirits, and it's just a list, a bullet
Nice.
point list of spirits. And I'm like,
Nice.
okay, so as I'm working through this, we could be like, yeah, it could be this, and I'd be like, okay, or maybe we won't think that, and that would also be okay. In the case of Doom characters, anyway, we can assume like, oh yeah, you fight this, and there's a lot of lava, and there's shooting things. There you go. That's what's going on. Um, so, but nevertheless, like there's Doom Guy, Doomer, and Doom Slayer, you can have those all be individual spirits. The spirit battles can reflect different the different portions of the Doom franchise that these respective iterations of the character come from. So Doom Guy could have a weapon in a stage that reflects classic Doom, maybe something Shadow Moses, with a like a steel diver or something. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Doom Marine, you can no Doom Marine would be the steel diver. Come on, Doom Slayer, Doom Slayer, you can go all out and have him eating a spicy curry or something to better reflect the essence of hell. Uh,
Or
on like Norfair.
cacodemon. Like four
Yeah,
cacodemons with super spicy curry.
yeah, and Cacodemon was the next on the list, so good on you there. I also thought of the BFG itself being a spirit.
Hey, I mean, I have two
Or
vehicles.
yeah, exactly, and for that, I mean, what could even properly reflect that? Maybe something like the biggest character in the game, like a Ridley with a Daybreak,
I'm
something like
terrified.
that. So am I. And then I have a whole lot of names that mean nothing. I just looked at them on the Doom Wiki. Night Sentinel, Samuel Hayden, Dag Grav, Emily Pierce. Amazing. Um, they all carry weapons and shoot you, and they have different stats like heightened attack, heightened endurance. It's amazing. Trust me.
I
Um,
feel like my brother would like to smack you for not mentioning the Cyber Demon, one of the more iconic
and
villains
yeah.
or enemies, rather.
Oh yeah, and the Cyber Demon too. I had it on here. But yeah, and the icon of sin as the legend.
Hmm.
The great goat skull that overlooks the chasms of hell and protects other demons. So it's just kind of
Right.
ever watchful. It is, and it could be placed over. Who is an icon of sin in the Smash roster? Ganondorf. Okay, let's put it on
Well,
Ganondorf.
I'd say Wario is pretty sinful as well.
Yeah, put it on Wario and
Greed,
make
you
that
know?
Wario. Yeah, make him really giant and just kind of stand there and be made of metal and be super hard to knock back. And because the icon of sin doesn't really do much itself, maybe as the battle progresses, miniature versions of Wario or some other character can appear on the stage as well, spewing fire from a super spicy curry. And you have to knock them all out. Like a minute passes. Oh, another character came on the stage. Another minute passes. Oh, it's another one. And then you have four characters that you have to knock out because you're not able to knock out Wario fast
So,
enough.
so kind of like the imprisoned spirit battle in World of Light, but with bodyguards.
Right.
Interesting. I like it.
And it would be very annoying.
I
Hey, I
agree.
came up with that on the spot. Cheers.
Sometimes the best things are.
Well, we're going to have a lot of room to test that theory tonight.
Well, maybe
Okay.
that's just the difference between coming prepared and, well, not.
Sometimes the best comings are unprepared.
Sure.
Sure.
Sure. Anyways, I like what you came up with, Doom Guy, or Doom Slayer, I should say. I do kind of like the idea that maybe having like half of its alts be the more modern Doom Slayer look, and then the other half being the more classic Doom Guy. And when you switch between them, the announcer will actually say Doom Guy instead of Doom Slayer, kind of like how they'll do for the Koopalings or for Alf. I
Oh,
like
yeah.
that idea.
Yeah. And I think it's actually maybe fairly realistic.
Yeah, and he's a good choice for the Bethesda franchise or company. A lot of people have talked about how Bethesda has even said that they talked to Nintendo about Smash, and I mean, generally speaking, there's only three franchises I can think of that have any shot, and there's very clearly a top two even out of those three, and Doom is one of them. I would not be
Fallout
disappointed to
79.
get Doom. Fallout
Oh yeah.
79 is not a game.
Country
You're thinking of
roads.
Fallout 76,
Does it
bitch.
really deserve me to even say it properly?
Yes,
Why?
because names are important.
Okay, Lester.
Nope. Anyways, let's move on to my second character of my own fighter pass. For this one, this is going to be a character that only one person had previously mentioned in our little friend group here.
Ooh.
Although a rival of theirs did get mentioned twice. That's going to be Yuri
Nice.
Lowell from Tales of
Ooh.
Vesperia. A lot of people say that for Namco that the Tales franchise is a great one to be represented alongside Tekken. And typically when people
Hmm.
think of Tales, they say, "Oh, Lloyd Irving," because to my awareness, Tales of Symphonia is sort of like the Final Fantasy VII of the franchise. At least that's the extent of my knowledge about it. I don't know Symphonia as well. This is just the impression I get for things. Plus, Lloyd had gotten a costume in the previous Smash game, so I mean I can kind of see that. But
Hmm.
Babylonian had actually gotten me to play Tales of Vesperia just last year, and actually just finished it like before 2019 ended, and it was damn good. And he got me on the Yuri train. He's a great character. Vesperia is a great game, and I decided, you know what? Fuck you, Lloyd. I want Yuri in. And technically, this is predictions, and more people talk about Lloyd, so maybe I should say Lloyd. But here's why I went Yuri instead of Lloyd. The Tales franchise has had a lot of official popularity polls that have been given out about it. Yuri has had to be banned from the popularity polls because he just kept winning. He would not lose.
Hmm.
He kept getting number one, so they had to ban him from the polls and gave him instead like some kind of like legendary status. He's the most popular character from the franchise. It makes sense to pick him. Sorry, Lloyd fans, but I'm going with Yuri Lowell. Maybe someday I'll
Yeah.
play Tales of Symphonia and I'll go back to cheering for Lloyd, but for now, nah, man. Nah. So, my stage here I have here from Yuri is called Zaude. It's a very important location in the second act of the game and has a rippling effect over the third act, where it kind of like, because of things that happen, an ancient force is being summoned and it's going to wreck the world if they don't stop it. This is also reminded me of Final
Uh-oh.
Fantasy 7. I made a lot of allusions to Final Fantasy 7 too by Bologna when I was playing this game. I was like, huh, I see similarities here. This is funny to me. But for the Zowdy stage, I imagine it's fairly basic. Imagine how you have trying to think of what it's called here. Heroes Pokemon League. It's that large circular stage that just goes straight down. It's not floating in midair.
Hmm.
Uh, but for Zowde, it's going to be smaller than that. Maybe more about the size of Fountain of Dreams. No extra platforms on top of it. But to the left and right, instead of there being like this empty void that you could fall down into, it's water. So you're only going to be able to
Oh,
KO somebody from either up above the screen, left, or to the right. Additionally,
interesting.
one of the characters from the game, Pharaoh, will from time to time attack the stage. So you've got to fend off
Nice.
attacks from that character. The
Hmm.
music tracks I have picked out for it are Furnace of War, which I believe is the primary battle theme. Then there's a bet on this bout, which is a boss battle theme. I've also got Cutting Off the Dark Ambitions, Fury Sparks, which is a theme against a certain character. And then I believe
Hmm.
the final boss theme is Once in a Lifetime Duel, which, first of all, that's just a great name.
Hmm.
And I support it as a track. Why not?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
4 or 5
Why
meat costumes.
not?
Yeah, for the 5 meat costumes that are going to come along with Yuri, 3 of them are returning from Smash 4. We have
Okay.
Gil and Lloyd Irving, who are going to be able to be Mii sword fighters.
Hmm.
Heihachi, who's going to be a Mii brawler. And then our 2 new ones are a Mii brawler for that looks like Klonoa from the Klonoa games.
Mm-hmm.
which I've recently discovered a desire to have him in Smash, despite never playing the games or even seeing them be played. He just sounds like a cool character. And the fifth
Yeah.
one I have, it's not a full outfit. It's just a hat of like Agumon's head from Digimon. Because I couldn't imagine a full me outfit out of Agumon. I mean, it probably would work. Maybe I should just say it's a full outfit. And if it was a full outfit, it's going to be a me brawler. Because I mean, he's not a gunner. Come on, that
Mm-hmm.
would just be stupid.
Mm-hmm.
For the spirits were actually pretty easy to choose who they were going to be. It was more of a fact of what are they going to do that sometimes was difficult,
Mm-hmm.
as you I'm
Oh
sure
yeah.
have realized. So the first one I have here is Estelle. Estelle is the healer of the party. She's the second party member you get in the game. So she's going to be represented by Peach on the melee version of Princess Peach's castle. During
Oh,
this match, only healing items will spawn. So that's food, it's heart containers, the healing field, the healing sprout, any of that stuff. And Peach will prioritize using healing items over fighting you.
nice.
If she can keep her damage down, you can't kill her, right?
That's true.
So goes the theory, at least.
Unless you have Doria.
Or Hero. Kamikaze. Magic Burst.
True.
Critical hit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Alright. The second one I have on here is Flynn, who is best friend to Yuri in the game. Flynn is actually going to be represented by the hero from Dragon Quest on the
Oh,
Colosseum
nice.
stage. For this battle, it's going to be a stamina match. And Flynn is going to have, or the hero, I should say actually, is going to have a Mii sword fighter representing one of Flynn's subordinates, Sodia, and a Mii gunner representing another subordinate, Witcher, who's a mage. Not Witcher from, the Witcher games, you know what I mean. The two Mii fighters are going to have less stamina than Flynn will, but you only have to KO the hero in order to win the match.
Nice.
The third one I've got here is Rapide, who is, man's best friend. It's Yuri's pet dog. She's also, human intelligent. They're going to be represented by Duck Hunt on the Gower Plains stage. And Duck Hunt will prioritize grabbing any and all items that they see on the field. Rapide is essentially the thief in the game. They kind of fill that role. You have the ability to steal items and money as you're fighting. So it just made sense to me.
Oh, nice.
Next up, I have Carol, who is going to be represented by Luigi on the Onet stage. Carol is, well, he's a kid and he's a bit of a coward. And by a bit of a coward, I mean he has quit a lot of guilds by running away and has pretty much become a guild pariah. Nobody wants him in their guild because they all know he's just going to quit on them. So what I have for the match is that when you're fighting, Luigi sees you and he's like, oh no, and he's just going to run away a lot. You have to chase him down because he will not make it easy for you to hit him. I love it. It makes sense.
Yeah.
The next one I have is the Genius Mage Rita, who's going to be represented by female Robin on the Magic Hand stage. Simple enough for
Nice.
Robin. Their spell attacks are going to deal more damage than usual, and the tomes will not deplete.
Oh,
Ever.
man. Imagine if Kelly had that skill set behind him.
I don't want to.
Neither do I.
Next up, I've got Raven, who's an old man and an archer. Going to be represented by Link on the Bridge of Elden stage, and Raven will prioritize long distance attacks. So if you try and get too close, he's going to try and run away and then try and sniping you from afar again. But if he has to, he can still smack you with Link's sword. Not a problem.
Oh, yeah.
Next up, I've got Judith, who wields a lance, and well, she's technically not a dragoon in the traditional sense. She kind of fights like the more traditional dragoon type of character. High jumps, spears, that kind of deal. Since the only lance user we have in Smash is Byleth, Judith is represented by a female Byleth. Yay!
Yay.
Yeah. The stage that I have Judith fighting on is Yggdrasil's Altar, the Dragon Quest stage. And Byleth will prioritize using lance attacks and also gets an extra jump.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's quite interesting that.
Yep, Byleth fly through sky.
Yes. Next up I have is Patty, who is a character that was added into the definitive edition of the game. She's a young girl and a pirate at that. She's going to be represented by a Mii gunner wearing the pirate outfit.
Nice.
On the pirate ship stage.
Does she
I
like
feel like
mayonnaise?
I don't know, but she
Okay.
might. I feel like pirate outfit, pirate ship kind of makes sense for her. She's a
Agreed.
pirate, so
Yep.
simple. Here's what I like about this one. Patty in the game, her special attacks all reveal around an RNG.
Mm-hmm.
So what I wrote for the spirit battle is that every time you play this spirit, the meat gunner's specials are randomized every time.
Oh, nice.
Just throws a
Yeah.
little bit of chaos in there. I love it.
Me too.
The last one I have here is what's going to be the legendary spirit for Tales of Vesperia, and that is Duke, the primary
Uh-huh.
antagonist of the game. He's sort of like a mysterious figure that you meet throughout the first two arcs of the game, but in the third arc, it becomes clear, oh, this is the bad guy. Oh shit. Duke is going to be represented by Cloud on the Zowdy stage. For this version of Zowde, Pharaoh will not be attacking the stage. It's just you versus Duke in a one-on-one duel.
Hmm.
Cloud is going to have all of his stats greatly increased, and he's also going to start out the match with a fully charged limit meter.
Oh, wow.
So one hit might just kill you. Watch out.
Who, buddy?
Yeah, that is going to be my second character then.
I did enjoy it. Don't know much about Tales of Vesperia about myself, but I'm hoping to change that sometime this year. I'm
It's
gonna
a
buy the Switch
great
version.
game.
Oh, I bet.
You
I
could also
bet.
you could also play it multiplayer locally, but still.
Oh, nice. Well,
A second person can pick
it'll
up the
be.
controllers and play as a second character because the battles in that game it's not like a it's not turn based like older RPGs. You're running around on a field, fighting the enemies.
Oh,
So it
cool.
can be pretty helpful to have a second person.
I would imagine. Maybe. Well, it's not gonna stop us from playing together one of these days.
I mean, there's no
Um.
online, so
Yeah, you're right. I have no arms or and no, but we'll find a way. So second character for me. I'm just gonna toss this out here, and it's going to be grand. You know a lot about tossing, don't you?
um,
Tossing things out there.
like tennis balls for your
Well,
dog to go chest.
no, I am talking about tossing a coin to your witcher.
Oh, I never watched the show.
Oh, Valley of Plenty.
I know you're
So,
mad at me for not watching it, but I haven't watched it.
and you have no desire to watch it.
Not
But
really.
we can talk about this later. Geralt of Rivia
Everybody is.
is, yep, shocking. I was actually going to go for Dragonborn, but then I decided at the last second to do Geralt. So it's interesting because I don't have anything filled out for this, so we'll see where it goes. Um, so for Geralt, no, I was just kidding. I figured this out a long time ago.
I was pretty sure because
I
you told me before we started this that you had it all figured out. I was like, that bitch lied to me again.
yeah, like that first draft of the Waluigi Smashtopia.
Yeah.
Yep, good times. No, I chose Geralt. The Witcher is a huge multimedia franchise. The controversy of its inclusion in Smash could be that technically it's a fourth party because it started as a very popular book series, turned into a very popular graphic novel series. But because the video game series have so greatly outclassed everything else in regards to terms of popularity, I think that people view Geralt primarily as a video game character now.
That's fair.
So it would be like this weird middle space where you're technically breaking the fourth party rule, but you're also not really breaking the fourth party rule. It's weird.
I mean, some people
Um,
argue that we already have a fourth party in Smash. Dracula.
oh yeah, that's true. You have Dracula, you have the devil. So Geralt is nonetheless great gaming background. The Witcher series are phenomenal games, and he's not averse to crossovers either, having appeared in Soul Calibur 6 as well. But you would think that would discount it too. But in this case, I think the character is so viable and comes from such a rich background that we could get away with the Smashing Clues in 2, especially with The Witcher 3 being such a prominent port on the Switch. Because when it came out in 2015 on the PS4 and the Xbox One, it was like, this game is really pushing boundaries. This was defining the open world experience at the time, creating this very vast, richly, densely populated world to explore. And the question was, could this work on a system that kind of downplays power when systems that upsell power are having a hard time necessarily grasping it itself? And there were some workarounds that had to be compensated for the standard PS4, etc. And then it happened. CD Projekt Red and their port developing company that I can't recall off the top of my head, they worked a miracle, arguably even more so than what's happened with the Skyrim and Doom ports, because it's like it's a newer title, denser title than either. No, Doom came out in 2016, but still, The Witcher's a larger game. So that's kind of my take behind it. It's kind of like how Bethesda has that early involvement with the Switch. Obviously, CD Projekt Red had a lot of workaround, and there was a lot behind the scenes going on that we didn't realize. With The Witcher being a prominent title on the Switch, that was a big surprise to a lot of people when it was announced,
Oh yeah.
and a bigger surprise when it was a success. So that's my justification there. For the stage, I'm primarily basing this henceforth off of The Witcher 3 as well, because it's such a huge game and it's on the Switch and all these other reasons. So the stage is from The Witcher 3. White Orchard was the first stage idea they came up with, and it's the one that's more fully fleshed. Even you may recognize the griffin that Geralt fights at the start of The Witcher 3 because it's in all of the promotional art.
I do
And if you
not.
don't, okay, well, it's there. He fights a griffin. That's the first boss of the game.
Okay.
Yep. So, what I'm thinking is, like The Witcher 3 starts out, have that area right outside of White Orchard, atop a hill. You can have it be at a slope with the center point being the tip of the hill, and that nice picturesque tree in the background. A fairly standard stage. But every so often, the griffin will come down to fight as well, and will be a. I'm not sure if you'd recognize it as stage boss or stage hazard. I would probably say stage hazard, just because there's not so much a griffin can necessarily do to necessitate it being a boss.
Right.
But that would be the iconic griffin would be the stage hazard. So every so often that'll come flying down, and you'll have to take care of it, and maybe other enemies from the Witcher as well. But I was set on the griffin. Otherwise, I also had the idea of setting it, if you don't like the hill idea, setting it right outside of the village of White Orchard, where the griffin is also historically attacked. So you can see it terrorizing people in the background. But then I was like, I don't know how well that would go over with Smash. If you just show it flying overhead and people running away, maybe that'd be okay. And there could be destructible townhomes and things like that, like in Garrigmach or something along those lines. My other stage idea, there's two because I couldn't decide, would be Novigrad, which is a free city in The Witcher. Like many medieval franchises, they're fantasy franchises. There's all manner of kingdoms and politics to consider, but Novigrad is free. And with their independence, they've developed a very wealthy and beautiful city. So I chose it because there's a pop of color there that you don't necessarily get from a lot of the rest of the game. It's a very populous city. You can see a lot of different folk from around the world of the Witcher in one place. I pictured it as fighting with maybe an area with a large fountain in the middle. You can hop on the fountain, or maybe you'd be this way, and then the platforms would be the um, storefronts. Like you can jump on the top of little thatched roof areas, like on Onet, or onto the roofs of houses as well. And there we go. Those are my two stages, fairly straightforward, but iconic Witcher locations. Music. There's a lot of good music in The Witcher. Very Nordic in taste, I feel, with a lot of throat singing and strings and just epic medieval ness. So some things that have came up are Sword of Destiny, The Trail, The Nightingale, The Fields of Art Skellig, and then of course Silver is for Monsters, and then the other track, Steel is for Humans, because Geralt has two separate swords. Steel is a lot more, uh, durable, so that's the go-to sword for fighting off humans, fighting off just general things. But then monsters, the things that lurk in the dark, they're susceptible to silver. So the more graceful silver is something that he uses far less often. And I'm sure that the dual wielding proponent would be something in Core Ash. Um, sorry, I had to get a drink of water. Me costumes. Iconic characters from The Witcher. Of course, the Miss Lilac and Gooseberries herself, Yennefer, gets a me costume. This would be a great opportunity to have like a me mage, wouldn't it?
It
But
really would be.
we don't have a me mage, so I guess for better or for worse, she could be a me brawler or me gunner. Yay!
I really hate, just to go on a brief tangent here, that gunners are the umbrella that mages are thrust under. It's like, why? And, well, it's kind of mixed. The more magical, like, attacks tend to be under me gunner, but the mages themselves get me outfits, they're put under sword fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Because, oh, their staff is the sword, like Ashley and Veridi, and, there's one more I'm not thinking. Oh, I think her name was Veronica from Dragon Quest.
Mm-hmm.
Like all
Yeah,
three of them are mages, but they're me sword fighters. Like what the hell? If we get
yeah.
me fighters in the next match, please just make a me mage. Just please do it.
Seriously, seriously. And then Yennefer also has a dagger, and she can wield a silver sword her own, I assume. So it could be a sword fighter too. But when you're talking about a powerful witch, and you're like, oh yeah, a sword fighter, of course. You're like, what? Uh, and to that same thing, Yennefer's good friend and another sorceress, who's one of Geralt's other love interests in The Witcher, Triss Marigold, also a very likely me costume in this scenario. Probably going to be thrust into Gunner or whatever. Hooray! Uh, Dandelion the Bard, the so-called successful bard, but who really knows? Very lovable character, or grating, depending on who you ask. But it's probably no surprise that I find him lovable. Um, Using his lute, he could be a sword fighter.
God
At
damn
least
it.
that makes more sense. Yep. um, Siri, not the Apple product. No, Siri from The Witcher. She could be a sword fighter very easily. And then I was thinking, going a little outside the box, still with CD Projekt Red properties, but to promote their upcoming game, Cyberpunk 2077, we have the protagonist, V, as a gunner, as well as the iconic character from the Cyberpunk series, Johnny Silverhand, as a brawler.
Uh huh.
also known as Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves is in Smash, everyone! Woo! We did it!
Oh man, another fourth party character. Can't believe it.
Yeah!
Okay. So approaching The Witcher from a spirit standpoint, there's a lot of interesting characters that pervade the franchise. And since again I didn't come up with any spirit battle ideas, and you also have almost no knowledge of The Witcher, we're going to be going in this totally blind.
Pretty much. Probably just gonna be a list.
It's probably just going to be a list. That's right. Um, so we can start this list off with Yennefer. She can be who's another mage? I guess
Zelda
Robin,
or
because
Robin.
Zelda. That works. Zelda with the Hilda costume
Hmm.
because it looks like Yennefer. There you go, black hair. And as you're fighting Yennefer on the let's see here, Hannonbow. We're going in this in the dark. Because I'm justifying it because Hannonbow has flowers, and we're always talking about lilacs around Yennefer.
All right.
Or Distant Planet. Anyway, as you fight Yennefer, only flower-based items appear on the stage. Fire, flowers, lipstick. That's pretty much it.
That's pretty
Isn't
much
it?
it. I mean, I
So,
guess you could say the healing sprout.
oh yeah, that's true. So you get a lot of that. A lot of these plant-based items
The
appearing on
the
the
rambling
stage.
evil mushroom.
hmm And of course, special attacks from Zelda are upped in their potential for knockback and heightened damage because Yennefer is one of the most powerful sorceresses ever.
Right.
Um, hey, that wasn't a total train wreck. Let's do another one.
You sure you don't want to just list them?
Let's see. Yeah. Let's. You know what's funny is Dandelion could also just have flowers because of his name.
Yeah.
That would be funny.
Maybe
Let's
he's played
go.
by Daisy.
Yeah, there you go. That yes, actually yes. If that were to happen, it could be Daisy.
I mean, it's not like we have any musical characters in the game yet.
Daisy can move around and constantly, like on a stage like White Orchard, because it's The Witcher, and Daisy can be constantly taunting, and it could be almost like a joke, kind of like Dandelion's kind of a joke, and that because Daisy's just constantly singing with her taunt, and then you just knock her out.
I mean, hey, there are some spirit battles out there that are literally jokes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I might have a couple that I haven't mentioned yet.
Yeah. So, and for these other characters, let's just assume that they're, when you take them out on the field, that they will be summoning a bunch of flower items, because that's what we're going to say they all do, because that's what The Witcher's about.
Flowers.
Okay, so, yep. So there's
Okay.
Triss Marigold, Ciri, Dandelion, Kira Mech, Fringilla Vigo, Zoltan, Vesemir, the Griffin, and our legend, Roach.
All right, I got to know about this roach. Why is it a legend?
Roach is Geralt's horse. Geralt, throughout the Witcher series, he prefers mares over stallions, and he always names the horse Roach to not become attached to it. Until at a certain point in The Witcher 3, you just have the same damn horse all the time because he's like, wow, I became emotionally attached to this horse. So the legend of Roach is that this particular Roach became imprinted on Geralt. And as it's your companion throughout the entire game, it is legendary. Kind of like Epona, but not.
Oh,
Kind of like the
okay,
horse from Red Dead Redemption 2,
but not.
but not because this horse doesn't die.
Instead of
Oh
just
yeah, there's
glitches out
spoilers
to
to that
be
too.
standing on top of you.
Yep. And that's the match. You are fighting the horse-based character that's definitely in Smash.
Mewtwo.
Yeah, and then Mewtwo is just constantly trying to stand on your head.
He's just constantly teleporting around.
Yep. Yep. No, but
Oh,
I really do. I really would bank on Roach being a legend just because of the. It just feels like it. It would be very entertaining.
okay.
Hmm.
Well, I can't unfortunately comment too much about Geralt in The Witcher because, I mean, as has been stated, never played the games, never watched the show, never read the book. All I know is in the show he has two lines, and fuck. That's all I know. I didn't. I don't even know what a Witcher is or why we're tossing him coins, but it's a thing apparently, and
Well,
people are
Witchers
mad at me
are
for having not watched it. But fuck it.
certainly they can watch Camp if you have to watch The Witcher.
You also haven't even watched Ruby, so
Ah, I have.
no, you haven't.
I have it downloaded on Crunchyroll.
Okay, who are the four main characters?
Oh, I didn't say I watched it. Well, I did say I
There we go.
watched it,
You
but
did
I
say
do have
that.
it downloaded. Hey, I downloaded it yesterday.
Wow. You know
Yep.
that another season is about to end, right?
No.
Wow. Okay.
Hmm.
hmm. Fuck. Anyways, uh, let's move on to our next one then, shall we?
Yeah.
So, I kind of feel like it's the right time to talk about a character that you've mentioned with both of your previous two characters, and that one other person predicted in their list, the
Ooh.
Dragonborn from Elder
Yep.
Scrolls 6, Skyrim. Wait,
Oh,
is it
baby.
6? Yeah, I think it's 6. Skyrim is Elder Scrolls 6, I think. I don't play
That is right.
Skyrim either. He's on my list, but I don't play the game. I had to get a lot of help from my brother because he has played Skyrim. He plays Elder Scrolls Online. I don't know shit about the franchise, so I needed help with this. Oh, but in legit though, I actually think the Dragon would be a really good character to add into Smash. Uh, Part of my debate between Master Chief and Doomguy was settled by the fact that if I pick Doomguy, then I'm not gonna have Dragonborn because I want to have different companies be represented. But if I pick Master Chief, then I can have Dragonborn. I was like, okay, and
Hmm.
I've been liking the idea of having Dragonborn in Smash for a good while now. I just think like he's got a lot of tools that you can use. His design is going to be based off of the box art with the horned helmet. His neutral special is most likely going to be Fuss Roda. I mean, come on. What else is it going to be?
Hmm.
Maybe he has a magic spell. Maybe he doesn't. Primarily, probably going to use a sword. But he could have some other weapons in there as well. You know, like Byleth.
Oh, yeah.
But moving on from that, uh, it's a very. Some people might say that, oh, I mean, why? The game is old, and we're just going to get a new Elder Scrolls soon. It's like, technically, you're not wrong. But I don't think there's very many Elder Scroll or goddamn, I keep messing up what I want to say here, but because I wrote down Elder Scrolls as the franchise instead of writing down Skyrim for the game on where this character is from. But Skyrim is one of those games that has been ported to so many different platforms that I don't even know how many times it's been released. You can play it on your damn Alexa.
You could play it
Limited,
on
but you
a
can't.
refrigerator.
You probably, yeah. I would not. I would not say that that's
Oh,
wrong.
you really can.
I
You
believe it.
really can.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But it's just out there, so it's just everywhere out there. It's become a game that even if you don't give a fuck about the franchise, hi, that's me. You know what the game is. You know what the Dragonborn is. Although I guess there's probably some people ignorant of it, kind of like how I'm ignorant of The Witcher, but you get the idea.
Oh, yeah.
But for the stage I have picked for Dragonborn is High Hrothgar, which is a monastery that you can visit super early in the game, and it's uh, you have to climb up a very icy mountain in order to get there. Supposedly, this mountain is supposed to have like 7,000 steps, but people
Oh,
counted.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
place. People
Hmm.
counted as only like 700 and something. So, Todd, I think you lied again. Sometimes it just doesn't work, Todd. Nice try though. But it's a monastery on top of a mountain, which I think would be a new type of setting for a stage because we don't really have anything like that. I mean, we have Garrick Mach Monastery and we have Icicle Mountain, but we don't have them combined. Or
Mm-hmm.
do we? Yes.
Ooh.
I don't really know what else would be on the stage. I feel like the primary battling portion of the stage is going to be more skewed towards the right, with maybe a good chunk of open air on the left. It's kind of like just an image I have in my mind. I need to do more
Mm-hmm.
research on this. I also need to do just more research on the Dragonborn in general because someday I really want to make a moveset for both the Dragonborn and for Yuri Lowell that I mentioned
Oh yeah.
earlier. A couple of the characters on this list I've made movesets for before, but these two, I have ideas in mind, but I haven't made them yet, and I want to.
Mm-hmm.
But the music I'm going to have on the High Hrothgar stage is When They Fear, which is I think the most iconic uh, track in the game. It's the one that you hear it and you instantly know, oh, that's Skyrim. Even if you don't know
Oh
Skyrim,
yeah.
you know that's the Skyrim track. Then I also have three common battle music tracks, those being Tooth and Claw, Steel on Steel, and Blood and Steel. Personally, out of them, Steel on Steel is my favorite. And then we have a
Mm-hmm.
boss battle track, Watch the Skies, which is pretty good in its own right.
Mm-hmm.
For my Mii costumes,
Nice.
we've got on here four gunners and one sword fighter.
Oh boy.
Two of our gunners are going to be based off of Doom Guy and the Vault Tech uniform. And I don't mean
Cool.
Vault Boy with this, where it has like the little yellow hair and the special face. I mean it's just
Mm-hmm.
the blue and yellow uniform. This is going to be like, I believe it will be the only outfit that you can wear that does not have a headpiece.
Yeah.
It's just the uniform. And it's supposed to be that way intentionally because in Fallout, it's you're creating your own character. You've got the outfit, but what your character looks like, it's up to you, much like the Mii's. So it's your Mii as a Fallout survivor.
Very nice.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so do I.
I've also got Chell from Portal as a Mii gunner.
Uh-huh. A character that Kelly has turned into a character moveset on Smashtopia.
He has. I
Mm-hmm.
considered doing the Chosen Undead from Dark Souls because that's been a popular DLC pick for a while. But instead, I just decided to go with, you know what? Why would I do the Chosen Undead, which is just a random dude in random armor, when I can instead do the meme pick of Solaire of Astoria?
Yep.
Praise the sun, motherfuckers.
I
No,
was I was
I
trying to see
don't
if
know
you
Dark Souls either. I know nothing about the games. So it's literally a meme pick. I don't know. And then my final Mii costume is going to be my second and last deluxe Mii outfit. It's
Oh.
another indie character, but one with a boatload of games that a lot of different people have been involved with, and that's Reimu Hakurei from Toho Project.
Not oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you didn't expect me to break out that one, did you?
No, I did not.
I don't know which track would come with Reimu. I also don't know Toho at all, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm told that it has amazing soundtracks. So I'm sure they can pick one, and people will be happy about just getting one, right? Right? They won't scream for more, will they? Oh fuck!
Oh, of
That
course
might have
not. Of
been a
course.
mistake. Oh no! All right, so spirit battles. I had to get a lot of help from my brother with these. I would ask him like, okay, what's a character like this, or is there anything like that, and he would kind of help me out. And then I would bounce an idea off of him for how the spirit battle could work, and he would tell me if he thought that was fitting or not. Because, again, I don't know Skyrim at
Mm-hmm.
all. Just I don't. Okay, so the spirit battles I have for this one. First of all, we have Astrid, who is the leader of the Assassin's Guild in the game. Astrid's going to be represented by Bayonetta in the Reset Bomb Forest. Bayonetta will be
Ooh.
fighting alongside a Joker and a Sheik, who both have weaker stats than they normally do, but you only have to KO Bayonetta to win. And Joker and Sheik are kind of representing different assassins that would be working under Astrid here.
Okay. Nice.
I've got Parthenax, who's going to be represented by Charizard on the High Hrothgar stage. Parthenax being the dragon in Skyrim that is voiced by Charles Martinet, our lovely little Mario.
Yep.
Simple enough. This match is pretty basic. Charizard is giant. Nothing else real special about it. Pretty easygoing.
Very easygoing.
Yes.
Just like Charles Martin, he's an easygoing guy.
Yes, he is. And I might get the chance to meet him again here in March.
Awesome.
I've also got on here Sheo Gorath, who is the trickster god of the entire Elder Scrolls franchise. And when I told Twilix that I was planning on having Sheo Gorath as a me battle, he told me, you've got to have it be as crazy as possible. Because he's literally the trickster god. And I'm like, you know what? I got a way to do that. So Sheo Gorath is going to be represented by Ganondorf on the temple stage. Here's the thing about this match. It is very much random. This match, you know how spirit battles in the World of Light, sometimes there'll be harsh winds, or the screen will black out, or there'll be poisonous platforms. Your controls can be reversed. The screen can flip sideways or upside down. You know how all those different things can happen in separate matches.
Mm-hmm.
That can all happen in this match. Not at the same time. Not at the same time. But just like periodically, randomly, a different effect will be chosen. So even if you're picking spirits that'll help combat some of these effects, you're not going to
Mm-hmm.
be able to combat all of them. You gotta pick and choose your battles here. It is going to
Oh
be
man.
very chaotic. It's not my legendary, but it very easily could have been. In fact, it might actually. I might actually have two legendary spirit battles here. She'll go out and one that'll
Oh,
come up later.
nice. Very fun.
Yes. I've also got on
Yes.
here Risad, who is a Khajiit merchant, so Khajiit has wares.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only thing I know about Khajiits, besides the fact that they're cat people. I don't know anything about this game, even though I support the character.
Mm-hmm.
Risad is going to be represented not by Fox, like you might have thought, but by a me brawler wearing a cat outfit. I was considering Nia from Xenoblade 2, but I didn't like it to be a different me outfit. That's not the character. It's one thing when it's a Smash character. That's already in the game. But me outfits, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to do that. So it's just a regular cat. And it's at the Garrick Mock Monastery stage, because specifically the merchant area of that stage. And only that portion. It will not change to any of the areas of that stage. During the match,
Nice.
items will spawn at an increased pace than normal, and they will also gravitate towards Risad. So you're gonna have to run for the items if you really want them.
Gotta do it.
Yep. Next up, we've got Harkon, who is a vampire in the game. He's going to be represented by Dark Pit at Dracula's castle. Pretty basic match, except from time to
Mm-hmm.
time the screen will completely black out, so you won't be able to see where you are. Good
Mm-hmm.
luck. But
Thank
again,
you.
with spirits, you can easily block that out. I've also
Yeah.
got on here Ulfric Stormcloak, who is the leader of the Stormcloak Rebellion in the game. He's
Oh
going to
yeah.
be represented by the Dragonborn because Ulfric can also use Fusro Da. This match is
That's
going to take
right.
place on the Hyrule Castle 64 stage, and Ulfric as a Dragonborn will prioritize using Fusro Da, but on top of that, strong winds will occasionally affect the stage.
Oh man.
Yeah, some
It
of these
makes sense.
some of these are going to be a real bitch. Next up, we've got Mirak, who is going to also be represented by the Dragonborn on the Spear Pillar stage.
Mm-hmm.
Mirak
Ah.
is, well, he's not a good guy. He's trying to summon a great evil whose name I have forgotten, but it's also very complicated to say, so I'm not going to try. Instead, this Dragonborn of Mirak is going to have increased stats, and if you don't KO the Dragonborn in 1 minute, a giant version of Zelda will spawn, and you have to beat both of them to clear the match. Why
Nice.
Zelda? Because the ancient evil thingy does magic, and I didn't want to use Bayonetta again.
Jeez.
I've got two more left spirits for Skyrim here. This one is going to be Emperor Titus Made the Second, or it might be Mayday. I don't. I'm moving
Mm-hmm.
on. You get the picture. I don't know the game. Buzz off. Titus is going to be represented by King K. Rool on the pirate ship stage. King K. Rool is going to start out the match with the Ore Club, and he's going to prioritize using it over anything else. He just has a big old sword, and he's going to whack you with it.
Oh
Going to
man.
whack you hard. The last spirit I have on here As our legendary, possibly our second legendary, in addition to Sheogorath, depending on how you kind of view that match, is going to be Alduin, the villainous dragon in the game. Alduin is not represented by a character like we traditionally see spirit battles.
Mm-hmm.
Alduin is represented by Rathalos, the boss.
Oh my god.
So it's not a regular stage, it's the actual stage that you normally fight Rathalos on. And, obviously, if we're going to be using Rathalos, one of the boss characters, as a spirit battle, it can't just be a regular boss battle. There's got to be something special on there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the bitch of the matter. You remember how in sudden death, bob-ombs will just fall from the top of the screen?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, because you see
Oh my god.
Alduin likes firing fireballs at the stage. So bob-ombs are starting out slowly. Bob-ombs will occasionally hit the stage. But then the longer the match takes, the faster and faster they're going to start spawning and falling down on you. Oh, and by the way, they don't hurt Rathalos at all. They only hurt
Oh
you.
man. That was
Otherwise,
a
it'd be too easy because Rathalos is going to take like 3 times as many bob-ombs as you are.
mm-hmm.
But that battle, everybody would hate. Much like I hated the
I
Jiggy battle
know.
for Banjo Spirits. Fuck the
Mm-hmm.
Jiggy battle. It's bad.
Yeah.
But that's everything I've got for the Dragonborn.
Very, very good, especially for someone without knowledge of Skyrim, I must say.
Yeah,
I
it took some
no,
work.
good work. Good work. My only question has to do with the fundamentals of the Dragonborn. I
Mm-hmm.
have been curious all this time of you supporting Dragonborn for one pretty minor reason. And I think you may be able to know what I'm where. And that is that Dragonborn is an avatar.
That's fair. I have said before that I'm kind of sick of Blink avatars being picked,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that's generally more the case of over other characters. Like, okay, Byleth as a great example here. He's a Blink avatar in Fire Emblem Three Houses. He has even less of a personality than Robin and Corrin did. It's just he has so little characters. Like, why pick him over a character that actually has popularity, can fight, and it's a character that people give a shit about. Byleth, you don't have a reason really to give a shit about him. The Dragonborn
Mm-hmm.
is a little bit different because it's not a character in a world filled with all these rich and involved characters that you're along with, like Edelgard, Dimitri, Claude. You know what I mean? Like, it's all these colorful characters that you can meet and interact with. Dragonborn is more like, hey, this is you in an open world. You're the star. There's no
Right.
like there's no the other characters are not on the same level of importance necessarily as Dimitri and Edelgard and Claude are in terms of both the narrative and in relationship to the main character. It's really just it's you wandering the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. Very true. In that case, I support it. I was actually really thinking about Dragonborn on my list too, but I guess this is where we differed because you went for Master Chief and I went for Doom Guy, and then I went for Geralt and you went for Dragonborn. They all kind of scratch similar backs,
Yeah, they really do.
so to speak. Um, I actually wanted to backtrack really quickly to Geralt
Mm-hmm.
because I thought of something for one of the me costumes. We're
Sure.
talking all this time about deluxe me's, and that made me think Johnny Silverhand can be a full on deluxe me. Can come with a cyberpunk track that you can use on stages that would make sense with it, like Metroid stages, Star Fox stages, Final Destination, whatever.
Spacey
But the
stages.
real, yeah, but the real cream of the crop here will be that the costume will come with a full voice clip set voiced by Keanu Reeves, including a taunt that says, "You're amazing." And that's the idea. And this is Super Cast Brothers.
I thought it was You're Beautiful.
It is. And that's what I said.
Now I want to look it up.
While you're looking that up, I
Breathtaking.
think
It's
that
Your
we are
Breathtaking. That's
you're
what it is.
breathtaking. You're beautiful is James Blunt saying. That's
Sure,
right.
whoever that is.
Yep. God. I don't know. I think the whole us recording this at 1:30 in the morning is showing just because like I actually had meant to say you're breathtaking. So I was like, whoops. But with that said, I think that this is going to be a two-parter episode.
Yeah, probably.
so so
I think we might
so
get
I
one more
propose.
character in here before we split it, though.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking as well. So um let's go for a character that you had mentioned earlier, and
Oh,
I think it was in Yuri's Me costumes. I'm pretty sure.
Clonoa?
That would be no one such Agumon.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay.
Throwing a wrench in there, giving the Bandai side of Namco Bandai time to shine. Agumon, I feel is when you see Digimon, there's no necessary there's not necessarily a protagonist of the series, especially because they started out as actual Digivices, very similar to Tamagotchi. So that leads us to this whole argument of, oh, are they even video games? It's like, I'm just going to say it's an electronic game. Okay, let's just say it's a video game.
It's like the Game and Watch.
Yeah, yeah, not too far of a stretch. And then over time, Digimon has had a ton of different games on the DS, on the GameCube, on Switch. It's not an unprecedented move, I think, and I think Agumon, if not the protagonist of the series, because it's pretty hard to pin down just like one central character of Digimon. It's at least probably the most ubiquitous and recognizable Digimon. So if there's ever an answer to Pikachu in this world, it's Agumon.
It's also the main character Digimon in the anime.
That's true. That's true. So there's Agumon. For the stage, I wonder if this is something that you would be surprised by. It's the Rumble Arena
I mean,
from Digimon Rumble Arena.
considering I don't know Digimon, it would be impossible for me to be surprised by the stage.
Yep. But here's where I'm differing it, because Digimon Rumble, uh, PlayStation game, where they're pretty standard stages, right? They're just in the digital world and with that wireframe background, pretty standard, pretty generic. So for me to change this up, we're getting the Rumble Arena and changing it in almost every sense of the word. You have that wireframe background for the standard area, but
Mm-hmm.
then around it, depending on the affinity of like the stage, because an affinity sign for say fire or water or nature will flash on the screen for a brief period, and then the stage will begin to transform, very similar to Pokemon Stadium. But in this sense, it's more of a elemental based change.
Mm-hmm.
Or, yeah, so the stage based on fire will turn into, suddenly you're in this place that with red rocks and crags and volcanic ash to deal with, and in the water area you have pools of water, or you have rain affecting the stage with watery terrain, like something that reflects a marsh. Nature, you have really green grass and trees and just general sunshine and nice old times. So something along those lines, and it's set inside of a digivice rather, where where certain platforms move in at a certain time, and they flash in and out because they're being summoned into the digivice. And also, if you press pause and pull back, you can see the characters inside of the digivice.
Hmm.
So there's that. Um, that was my favorite part of this whole thing. Music, uh, taking it from Rumble Arena and Cyber Sleuth, and if I could look into the future, Digimon Survive, but I can't. The Biggest Dreamer from Rumble Arena, Reapermon's Den, Crazy Battlefield from Rumble Arena, and then from Cyber Sleuth, such tracks as The Cyber Sleuth, and Final Phase. Both pretty technological things that are befitting of Digimon. There's because of the whole copyright strike concept, I'm not going to
Mm-hmm.
be playing any tracks on this podcast. So it's just like, look them up.
Yeah, I
Look
had
'em up.
considered the idea of trying to like play little clips of them, but I knew we were going to take a long time on this episode. I didn't really want to like pad that in any extra.
Yeah, yeah, same here. We did get that tasteful little Yoshi story snippet earlier. Um, as for Digimon, spirits. Oh no, actually, me costumes. You need to go over me costumes first. For Digimon, I have some popular Digimon available at the forefront of this. There's Renamon, who would probably make sense as a Mii Brawler. Uh, Gabumon, who would probably make sense as a Mii Brawler. Pale Draymon, who could be a sword fighter. Kinda. That would be the logistics would be strange, but I'm trying to not make all the Digimon be brawlers. Okay. uh, I have Metal Greymon listed here, but I'm not sure if I would make him a gunner or if I would just have it be a part of Agumon's moveset. Could go either way.
I mean,
Uh,
if they had some kind of transformation mechanic into Greymon, then Metal Greymon could be the final smash.
that's true. That's true. Oh, that would be good. And then I have two Namco reps to back it up because I wasn't feeling gutsy enough to include Optimus Prime here. So Klonoa and Heihachi.
Very good
Boom.
choices.
Very good choices. I would have loved to justify making Klonoa this character, but I could because I'm trying
I
to keep this steeped in mild realism. But
I
yeah.
noticed that you don't have the Lloyd outfit returning.
Oh yeah, and look, let's just toss Lloyd in there. Forgot all about it. Quite honestly, I had Lloyd on another on a Yuri thing as well, but then I kind of got the idea that you were choosing Yuri, so then I was like, I'm gonna step back and let the guy who's actually played the game do this.
That's fair.
Yep. So then I just forgot about Lloyd, but Lloyd can return there too. That makes sense. And as for spirits, you know what? Let's just list them
Yeah, probably
because
best.
it's probably for the best because this can get monotonous. Digimon, while nowhere near as expansive as Pokemon, the characters, the various Digimon will be a little monotonous to work through in this sense without thinking ahead.
I mean, Angemon could be Palutena pretty easily.
That's true.
That's the
That,
only other Digimon I know by name. I'm done.
mm-hmm.
It's based off of an angel, and that's all I know.
Tailmon could be Diddy Kong. Patamon could be like something with wings. I
Pit.
don't know. Pit, yeah, it could be Pit. That would be funny. Gabumon could be something for Donkey Kong, although, eh, King Dedede. And then there's Bodamon, Karomon, Renamon, Palmon, Gomamon, Tentamon, Greymon, War Greymon, Metal Greymon. So War Greymon or Metal Greymon would probably be a suitable legend.
Mm-hmm.
And in the case of either of them, you can give War Greymon a very melee weapon, like a killing edge that always makes a critical hit. You can give Metal Greymon something like
Metal.
make it metal, make it giant, hard to move around. It would make sense to give Metal Greymon something like a grenade launcher, which I just had the brain blast. That's not even an ultimate. That's a little disappointing.
The
Uh,
what?
Steel Diver though, grenade launcher, from Brawl.
Oh, the fireworks launcher.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, yeah, that was actually something that Trilix had suggested to me originally for Alduin. It's like that item's not in the game anymore. It's
Nope.
really sad. I miss it.
Me too. Me too. Well, any comments on Agumon?
It's hard to comment again because I just don't really know Digimon. But
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not opposed to the idea of having Agumon in Smash. I mean, I would rather have a Tails rep first, and they've also
Mm-hmm.
got the obvious competition of just Tekken in general. But it would
Tekken,
be
Soul
a
Calibur.
really interesting idea. I don't think many people would expect it, and it will be a nice parallel to Pokemon, especially like they had that. We've already got the old rivalry of Mario and Sonic, so we could have the old rivalry of Pokemon and Digimon as well.
That's true. It's very true. And with that, I think that we can call this quits on part one
Yes,
of this episode.
we anticipated this to be a
So,
long one, and
mhm,
it is.
yes, it is. So, after the break, we're going to jump straight into the latter three characters to round up our fighters passes, respectively.
Indeed. See you all in
Okay.
part two.